everyone, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. My name is Leonette and I'm so glad that you are here. This channel is fully dedicated to crafting, DIY, home decor, and flips. If you are visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope you like what you see and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. And if you are returning, thank you so much for being here. We are going to start off the bat with 6 of them. The reason why is because we're going to use 6 of these little wood rounds that I get on Amazon, and I do have them on my Amazon store, so check it out if you would like to purchase them. The link is down below. I'm going to paint them all differently, and they're all going to be inspired by Pinterest wood round signs. You know, the large round signs that you can place on a front door. But we're going to make mini ones as ornaments. So the first one, as you saw, I painted black with Waverly chalk paint in the ink. This one, half of it is going to be kind of like a wash of white and Waverly antiquing wax. And then the other half is going to be painted with with white, there you go, chalk paint. This is the new chalk paint from Walmart. I'm not a fan because it doesn't feel like chalk paint, but for this, it really worked out. For the third one, we are going to mix some Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the charcoal with a little bit of white paint, make it just a little bit lighter, and we're going to paint it all that one same color. Again, we're going to do these mimicking 6 round wood signs that I saw on Pinterest, and in a little bit, I'm going to show you what the originals look like. This fourth one, I am going to paint white. Again, this is that Hello Hobby, I think it's called, chalk paint by Walmart. The fifth one, we are going to just stain using the Waverly antiquing wax and then removing the excess from it, and then of course letting it dry. And then the sixth one, I am going to paint using it paint it using a Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the country gray, and I'm going to let all of them dry. For this first one, we are going to make some stripes, kind of making it look like it's planked, like the original you see right there. And I am using a permanent marker from Dollar Tree. Now, the key to these was to make it as close as possible, but they're not going to be exact. And you're going to notice that because I don't have everything that the originals have, but most of it I do. For the second one here, I'm just going to distress in white a little bit of the edge, just like the original you saw there. This one, we're going to dry brush some white chalk paint, going side to side as you see the original there on the side. And then we're also going to make some planks, lines with a pencil. And I'm barely even like pressing on the pencil. I'm literally just making some light lines, just like the original looks like right there. It looks like it's planked, but it really isn't. And then it's time to start adding some decals on all the wood rounds. So for this first one, we are going to place it right on the right side corner, just like you see the original. For this next one, we are going to place it right in the center, just like you see. And then I did use my Cricut to cut out these little tiny decals, which I thought they were so cute. And then, of course, this black one, we're going to have the red Marion Bright right in the center. And then for this black one, the Merry Christmas is going to go right in the center, just like the original. And the white one is going to be right in the center, just like the original as well. And this one as well. And then I'm going to use my crocodile just to kind of cut out a hole so that we can thread some jute twine right in the center there, and that way be able to hang them. For the first one here, we're going to use some lamb's ear to hot glue on the top, and then we are going to just start adding some ribbon and little things like that to make it look as close as possible to the original.
Let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows in the rain.
And we're just about done with this one. And I'm going to show you all of them all together, nicely put. But we're going to move on here to the second one. And it's the black one. And here's the original, what it looked like. And again, we're just going to start with some greenery here that I do have on my Amazon store as well. Don't forget to check out my Amazon store. I'm going to take this Dollar Tree ribbon, make a very cute little bow, hot glue it in the center.
It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary. Doesn't matter.
For the third one, I am going to take some of this buffalo check white and gray ribbon, and I'm going to make another very simple bow, tie in the center with another piece of that same ribbon, and we're just going to add some greenery and just hot glue it just in place. Again, just making it look a little bit closer to the original, but again, not exactly, because it would be pretty impossible to have everything they have, but I think they all turned out pretty close to the original.
In my heart, and I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted.
For this next one, I'm going to take some of this Taking Stripe ribbon, which I love. I got it last year at Dollar General, and it is such a cute and very strong ribbon. So again, I made a very simple bow. I'm going to take another one of those greenery picks, cut them in half, hot glue them, and just start hot gluing right on top of the greenery.
Ooh, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow.
For this next one, I'm going to take this Taking Stripe thicker ribbon, and I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to then glue it together to make a longer but thinner ribbon. And then I'm going to make, again, just a very simple bow. This one's going to be just a little bit on the larger side.
The windows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary.
This little Christmas tree is from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to remove the base and hot glue it right there, and then add a little bell just to finish it off. The next one is going to be this one, and I'm just going to use one of these frosted greenery picks that I already had on hand, cut it in half, hot glue it, and then start placing some ribbon and some decor right on top of them.
It's Christmas in my heart. Here we go. All right. Now this Christmas, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance. Come on. We're gonna dance, have a good time.
And we are just about done with these, and I think these all turned out so cute. I love that they are mini versions of real wood rounds on Pinterest, and I think they are gorgeous. I love that they're 6. I can even sell them like this in a set, which I think is what I will do if I don't keep them myself. But I think they turn out so beautiful.
All night long, we're gonna dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling, or the windows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year
For the next ornament, we are going to make a very rustic but cute and cozy little snowman using these 2 wood slices from Artisa. I already had these on hand, but I do have some on my Amazon store, so check it out. Again, it's linked down below. I'm going to join them together using some hot glue as well as a popsicle stick. Hot glue to the back. I did cut off a little bit of the excess because that way it can fit, and just to make it even more secure, I am going to staple it using my electric stapler. I am then going to take this leftover fabric from a tree skirt that I recently pulled apart, and I'm going to cut it into somewhat of a triangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to wrap it around, kind of tilting to the side, a Santa hat style hat. And then I'm going to hot glue it in the back so that way it's nicely secure. And then I am going to kind of tilt it to a side. So I'm going to scrunch it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of tilt it to the side. This is so that the little hat kind of looks like it's been tilted to the side. And then I'm going to hot glue it in place. And that way it'll stay just like that and not lift up. I am then going to take a Dollar Tree dusting mop and I'm going to cut off just a little bit of a corner and hot glue that right at the end of the little hat. That way it looks like a little puffy ball. And I think it looks so stinking cute. So now we're going to take some more of that tree skirt, but this is the lining that was underneath the fabric. And I cut out a little piece and I'm just going to fold it several times and then tie it to his neck like it's a scarf. And then I'm going to kind of like maneuver the little ends and hot glue them so that they stay put. And then after that, I am going to hand draw 3 little dots, and this is going to be like his little like buttons. And then using some regular latex orange paint, I am going to freehand a little carrot nose. I am going to lift up the hat just a little bit. That way it's going to kind of look like it's underneath. And you're not going to see his eyes. His eyes are going to be covered, but I think it's cute anyways. And then, of course, it's an ornament, so we want to make sure that we add a little jute twine to the back. That way we can hang him. And I think this little snowman rustic ornament turned out so cute. Now, let me tell you, if you have even the larger slices, like the ones that are about 7-8 inches, it would look awesome to make snowman that size as ornaments for larger trees. I think it will look really, really cute. But this is the size that I had. I do have some really big ones. I don't want to make that size big ornaments, but I think this one turned out super cute and it's one of my favorites from today. Speaking of oversized ornaments, this is one of them here. I am going to use these little flat dowels that I get on Amazon, and I do have them on my Amazon store. I am also going to take one of these extra large jumbo popsicle sticks. I did cut it in the top like a little V, so it looks like a little pointy. And we're going to make a little tree. So I'm going to speed it up here quite a bit for you. So it's like very repetitive. For basically what I'm doing is I am just putting the dowel right underneath, measuring where I want to cut, leaving about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so, not even, on each side, and then hot gluing all the way to like maybe the middle. Now towards the middle I did add it, or towards the end I added some smaller ones, and you're gonna see it, but it's very simple to make. Once I had it all glued, I am going to brush it with white paint. And this is basically just a dry, like a very rough first coat. It's pretty full coat, but it's not like perfect at all because we are going to be distressing it, dry brushing some Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Country Gray.
It was the night before Christmas. I was closing down.
On the bottom part, we are going to start hot gluing some greenery and some embellishments. And I think this looks so cute because this is going to serve like almost like it's the bottom of the tree. And I just love the way this one turned out. Anyways, we're going to keep hot gluing some greenery. Again, these are another greenery picks that I do have on my Amazon store. These little red berry ones I did get at Dollar General last year, and I still have like a pick left. So just hot gluing in place, and then I'm going to take more of that ticking stripe ribbon, make a very simple bow, tie it in the center with some jute string, cut the ends dovetail style, cut the excess jute string, and hot glue it right on top. And then of course we got to add a little bit of detail. So we do have that leftover popsicle stick on the bottom. I'm going to hot glue some of this little faux fur white fabric. Again, part of that Christmas tree skirt that I got last year, and I'm just going to wrap it around. It's kind of almost look like it's snow at the bottom. And then I am going to add a few things here. We're going to add a pine cone right in the center. We're going to add a small little pick here to one side, and then on the other side, and then a little like glittery ball, and then a smaller one on the other side. And then of course we need something to hang the ornament from. We're just going to hang it right from, hot glue it on the back. What a beautiful ornament. This is a pretty good size ornament. Now, the reason why I wanted to make some oversized one is because if your tree is anything like mine, I do have pretty large trees or a pretty large Christmas tree. And if you have small ornaments like the regular size ones, they're going to get lost and you're going to need a ton of them. So having oversized ornaments is the way to go for large trees. And this little tree is perfect for it.
In my little prison shop,
For this next ornament, it's going to be another oversized one, and I'm going to take this placemat that I recently got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to break it apart. So you basically pull or cut like the beginning of it, and then you just start pulling, and then you have this beautiful ribbon like ribbon. And then I'm going to start hot gluing it around this wire wreath form from the Dollar Tree. This is their smaller wreath forms. However, for an ornament is as an oversized wreath, right? So I'm not going to bore you with the details on wrapping it. You basically just go around and around and hot glue it in place. Once it's completely wrapped, now it's time to add some embellishments. So I'm going to add some more of these picks right on top. This frosted pick I have had for like 5 years, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's not even in the best shape, but I still used it because I thought it was cute. I'm going to hot glue one on each side of the greenery. It was a little heavy because of all the extra like snow-like, so I did have to add a jute string here to tie them together, because hot glue is not going to do it. I would have to have put like a ton of glue. So I'm just going to loop one end of the jute string and then tighten it really tight. And that way it's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to continue to add, I'm going to add one of these ornaments from the Dollar Tree. Now here's a little comparison. And look, this is what a normal regular size ornament is in comparison to the large oversized one we're making. Could be considered a small wreath. But again, in this case, it's meant to go on one of those larger trees, and it doesn't have to be a large tree. Mine's like a 7-foot one, which is a little bit large, but I think these large ornaments just look beautiful. Look how stunning this one is. I love that it has that red pop and all that white kind of snowy detail. I love. Here's another one that's going to be on the oversized kind of style. And we're going to take a regular size ornament from the Dollar Tree, this little bell. It's not little, but you know what I mean. And then we're going to take one of these 4-inch wreath grapevine wreaths that I get on Amazon, and I do have them on my Amazon store. And I'm going to tie it right to it, and then we're going to have the little ornament kind of hanging from the wreath. So in the center. This is how you can make any ornament look larger, is by joining them together with other things and making them larger. So if you have a tree that is larger and you need to add some larger ornaments, but you just don't want to buy the very expensive ones, just buy some inexpensive ornaments, put them together and make larger ones. You can even make it with 3 of these bells. If you put 3 of them together, tie them together, and then, you know, add some embellishments, how cute would that be? Gorgeous. We're going to add some red and black buffalo check ribbon right on top. I made a very simple double loop bow. And then we're going to add a pine cone right in the center in between both the bow and the bell. And that's it for this one. Beautiful ornament. This is, again, one of my favorite. I just love all of them. I really do.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, spend my time
wooden ornament. I am going to paint it white and then hot glue a piece of drop cloth in the center, making sure that the top and bottom are frayed. I am then going to take this snowflake stencil and stencil it using Rust-Oleum chalk pen in the country gray and a makeup sponge. And as you can see, I made sure that I stencil it towards the right side of the drop cloth. I am then going to take some jute twine and just thread it through the little hole, tie it in the knot close to the wood round, and then tie it again on top, and that's where we're going to hang the ornament from. Now it's time to start adding some embellishments. I'm just going to take some of these greeneries from these greenery pick that I got on Amazon. I also have on my Amazon store, so check it out if you would like to see it. I'm going to hot glue 2 small pieces right underneath the jute twine. And then I'm going to add some of these brown berries that I recently got at Dollar Tree. They were part of their fall collection, but I thought for this neutral ornament, I thought it would be perfect. And then I'm going to add a little tiny jingle bell right to the right side of the berries. At the end, when I'm done with all 6 wood rounds, I am going to show you what they all look like together. So we're going to move along to this next ornament, and I'm going to take craft paper from Hobby Lobby, a stencil from Dollar Tree, I believe it was. This time we're going to use a little Christmas tree. We're going to trace it. I did trace an ornament or the wood round on the craft paper. That way I knew exactly where to place the tree. Now I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to trace the little tree and then poke it out. And now we have a little opening of a Christmas tree. Now I'm going to cut all along the line of the circle, and then it's time to start working on the wood round. I'm just going to add a little bit of that country gray chalk paint by Rust-Oleum right in the center. That way you'll be able to see it through the little Christmas tree cutout. Then I'm going to Mod Podge the craft paper right on top of the wood round. I am going to take my Crop-A-Dile and I am going to make a hole so that we can hang the ornament from. I do have my Crop-A-Dile also on my Amazon store. I seriously have all kinds of stuff on my Amazon store. If you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. So now I'm going to take a couple of these tiny little brown leaves. This is from a pick that I recently got at Target Dollar Spot. I'm just going to grab 2 small leaves and we're going to hot glue them right there in between the jute twine. And then we're going to grab some of these golden tone glittery berries from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to hot glue it right on top of that. I still felt like something was needed, so I am going to add one of these little foam red balls from the Dollar Tree, and I ended up adding 2 of them. You don't see it, but I ended up adding a smaller one right underneath. I'm going to now sand the edge of the wood round. That way it's going to be nice and smooth. Again, I'm going to show you that one along with all the other 5 here at the end. Now I'm going to take my 3rd wood round and I am going to start using this Arteza marker. It's like an acrylic marker, and I'm just going to start coloring one thick line right in the center. We're going to make a little Santa, a little neutral color Santa. So the face portion is going to be that pinkish color. Now I'm going to take more of that drop cloth and I am going to hot glue it towards the top and then wrap it around to the back. This is going to be the little hat. Now we are going to just, after it's hot glued, kind of maneuver it, just folding it, cutting things as needed so that we can have a little Santa hat tilted to one side. And you're going to see it here as I fold. You're just going to have to work with it if you're just redoing one of these at home. Just keep working with it until you get what you want. And of course, hot gluing as you need, because Lord knows we need that hot glue. Once I had it where I wanted, I'm just going to hot glue it to the side of the wood round. And then I wanted to add a little bit of a puff ball. So I'm going to take a little corner from the dusting mop from Dollar Tree and I'm going to hot glue it right at the end of the Santa hat. If you remember on my last video of ornament, we did something similar with a snowman. So it's similar to that. I'm going to cut a longer piece of the dusting mop from Dollar Tree. I'm going to trim it, make it pretty, clean it up. This is kind of messy to work with, so you just have to be patient, but it does look really pretty when it's all said and done. I'm going to hot glue it right on top there. That way we can have like the little fuzzy part of a Santa hat. And again, I'm just trimming it as needed so it looks clean and trimmed. Now I'm going to take some of this leftover, it's like a faux kind of fur white, and it came with a Christmas tree skirt that I got at Dollar General last year, and I thought it would be perfect for his beard. So I'd hot glue the bottom portion of it, and now I'm going to trim it in the shape of a beard. There's no right or wrong way. You do what you want with it. Now I'm going to hot glue a little half bead right in the center. That way it looks like his nose. To finish it off, we're going to hot glue some more of that greenery pick, and then we're going to add a tiny bell right where the greenery pick ends. And then we're going to add some jute twine to the back, tie it and hot glue it, and that way we can hang the little Santa ornament from. And that's it for this one. So stinking cute. And again, I'm going to show you what it looks like after we're done with all 6 wood rounds. I'm going to take another wood round, and now we are going to use this burlap fabric that I got a long time ago at Walmart. I say it was about 3 years ago, and I am going to hot glue it right onto the wood round. I made sure that I picked a place where I still had one of the belief right, kind of like center, not center, but like towards the top, and then you still see some of the other beliefs just a little bit. Then I am going to cut off the excess burlap to make sure that it is trimmed and neat. And of course, we're going to use the crocodile to make another hole. Now this time I actually did a hole in the wrong place, so I had to make another one. Thank goodness that it actually going to be covered with some embellishments, but for a minute I panicked. This small greenery pick I also have in my Amazon store. I did cut off the little portion at the end, and then I am going to hot glue it to the top, and then a different kind of greenery pick to the other side, just to change it up a little bit. I'm going to take some of this ticking stripe gray and white ribbon. I'm going to cut off about a third of it, and I'm going to make a very simple bow and then tie it in the center with another piece of the same ribbon and hot glue it in the center of the greenery. I did fluff it a little bit to make sure it looked okay. And then I'm going to add a little tiny bell right in the center. This one's going to be very simple, but I love simplicity. And again, I'll show you that here in a minute. For this next wood round, I'm going to take another wood round and we are going to hot glue it to leftover dusting mop from the Dollar Tree. We're also going to be painting one of these snowflakes. It's an ornament snowflake from Dollar Tree, and I am going to paint it using the same Country Gray by Rust-Oleum. Just one pretty light coat. It didn't need much because I didn't mind if it looked a little bit distressed. Now I'm going to cut off the edges or the remaining dusting mop from the edges to make sure it looks nice and clean. I ended up painting the back of the snowflake white because for some reason the yellowish tone of the wood was reflecting off of the white and it just looked too yellowish for me. So I painted it white and that fixed it. Now I'm going to hot glue more of that jute string right to the back, and that way we can hang it. I am going to take some of this striped red and white ribbon from I believe this is Dollar General. I'm going to make a simple bow and we're going to hot glue it right on top of the ornament, keeping it simple but very, very sweet. For the next wood round, we are going to paint it all white using Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white, and then of course letting it fully dry. We are then going to take the crocodile and make another hole and put some jute string around it and tie it. Now I'm going to take one of these small little wood wreaths that you can find at Hobby Lobby. I got this one at Hobby Lobby, but you can find them anywhere. We're going to hot glue one right in the center of the wood round. Now we're going to take some of these leftover greenery picks. Have you noticed that we've been using the same greenery pick? That's how awesome it is to make your own ornaments. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can reuse the same items and just make them look a little bit different by using different items. We're going to use some more of those little tiny brown berries. One of them was cut off in half, so you still see a lot of the white. So I'm just going to hot glue another berry on top and cover it up. Now I'm going to place some more or one more of these little bells right in the center, and look how cute these look. I'm going to say that again, not just cute, beautiful. I love these ornaments. I love the way they turned out. They're festive, neutral, and just beautiful. And by the way, they are going to be on my Etsy store, and only this set, so make sure to grab it if you would like. The next two Christmas ornaments are going to be oversized, and they are inspired by Pinterest. In a little bit here, I'm going to show you what the inspiration looks like, and it'll be on the left bottom corner of your screen. I'm going to take this 1x6 that I cut in 12 inches, and I am going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And then I'm going to freehand the phrase fa la 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 la, like the song. There you have the inspiration from Pinterest. I am using Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red, and then for the La La La, it's going to be a permanent marker. I was so nervous doing this freehand, but I thought, let me push myself and let me try it, and it actually turned out pretty well. I was very happy. I'm using a regular brush, nothing fancy. And then, like I said, the La 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 is going to be with a permanent marker from the Dollar Tree. Then I am going to distress everything to give it a farmhouse style look. And I love the way this turned out. I know it looks like a sign, which it could be. It could totally be used as a sign. But it's going to be nestled right in between all my branches on my Christmas tree. And I cannot wait to show you what that looks like this year.
The snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Get all the Christmas.
For the next oversized ornament, we are going to do another Pinterest inspired, same size board because I wanted them to look, similar in size. This time I'm going to paint using the Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the Farmhouse Red, and then we're going to let it fully dry. I did use my Cricut for the next design, which says Noel, and you can see it right there in the left hand corner that the inspiration looked like from Pinterest. I'm going to apply the stencil, and then I'm going to stencil it using Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white, and using a chalk paint brush, which are great to stencil large stencils, by the way. I love them. I do have, not this one, but I do have other chalk paint brushes on my Amazon store if you're interested in looking at them. So removing the stencil, and then we are going to once again distress it to give it a farmhouse look. And this one turned out beautiful as well. I love these oversized Christmas ornaments. I think they're just perfect for large trees. And again, this one is going to be nestled right in between all my Christmas tree branches, and I think it's going to be stunning.
And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby.
For the next Christmas ornament, I am going to take 3 of these sticks. Now, this was a large one that I get at the hardware store in a bundle of like 50. But you can certainly use painter sticks because they have the same size. So definitely you can use that. I'm going to use one of these flat dowels that I get on Amazon. And yes, I do have on my Amazon store. I am going to hot glue 3 of them on the back. We are going to make like a little sign. But again, it's going to be a large ornament, Christmas ornament. I am going to hot glue as well as staple them to the back to make sure it's secure. Give everything one pretty heavy coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white. And I'm going to paint the front as well as the back.
I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on
Now I'm going to take a regular size ornament from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove the little greenery. I'm going to stay with the plastic believe. I contemplated removing some of the glitter, but I'm actually glad that I didn't, because as I'm painting it here with Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the charcoal, it kind of looks like concrete. It kind of looks very textured, and I like that. Now, after it was dry, I'm going to hot glue it right in the center, and that way we'll have a little mini believe sign. We're going to take some of these garland ties from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut just a little bit off of them, and then I'm going to crisscross them, and I'm going to add some of these little frosted red berry, it's like a greenery pig from Dollar General from last year. I'm going to tie everything in the center using jute string. Now I'm going to hot glue it right to the top, right in the center. And then we are going to add a little bell right in the center of it. It's going to be a red one from the Dollar Tree to finish this one off. And I did add some jute string to the back. I contemplated hot gluing it, but I thought it would be cute and fun to just tie it from each end. And that way it just looks, I don't know, like a little hanging sign, but it's going to be a large ornament. And this one I'm also going to use on my Christmas tree this year. And I cannot wait to put it on. But look how beautiful it looks. Once again, I did add a little string to hang this one, but I may just, again, nestle it right in between all the branches, and I think it's going to look beautiful. For the next DIY, I'm going to take one of these regular sized ornaments from the Dollar Tree. This one's a little chapel. I'm going to remove the greenery from it, and I'm going to give it a fresh coat of paint. This is Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. I'm just going to give it, it's pretty rough. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want it to be brighter and just looking a little newer. It was just a little too dingy for me. Now I'm going to hot glue it to this little mini wreath that I do get on Amazon. These are the 4-inch wreaths. They're grapevine wreaths. I get them on Amazon, and I do have them on my Amazon store. Check them out. And then I'm going to grab 2 of these little greenery pigs that are from 2 separate picks from Dollar Tree. I'm going to hot glue them crisscross to each other at the bottom of the chapel. I'm going to add a couple more of those little frosted berry pigs from the Dollar General, hot glue them to the center. And now we are going to add some red berries from a pick from Dollar Tree right in the center. To hang this one, we're going to do something a little different. Instead of using jute string, I'm going to take some more of that striped ribbon, and I am going to thread it through the grapevine wreath and then tie it on top. And then I'm going to kind of slide the knot to the back of the ornament so you don't see it. And that's it for this one. Isn't it beautiful? Just another example on how you can take a regular size ornament and make it bigger, make it larger, make it stand out on your Christmas tree, and make it custom. I just love using these. The first three are going to be painted black, and then this fourth one is going to be covered with a buffalo check scarf from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to Mod Podge it and then place the buffalo check right on top, and then I'm going to trim off the excess so it's nicely trimmed and groomed on the sides.
Feeling alone, kinda misty, waiting now for you to come.
That fifth one there, I just painted in a gray that is Country Gray by Rust-Oleum Chalk Paint. And then this sixth one is going to be stained by Rust-Oleum Chalked Glaze in the brown tone, just a little portion of the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to add some white as well as some red.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long
As I am finishing the base colors for this 6 ornaments, I am going to also be having the inspiration picture on the left bottom corner of the screen for you to see as I am recreating inspired by Pinterest wood rounds. So for the first one here, we're going to take the gray one, and as you can see there on the bottom left corner, it does have like a little bit of a planked look. So I am going to use a very light pencil, and I'm just going to draw lines making it look planked. And then I'm going to dry brush some white as well as some beige color. That way it kind of mimics closely to the original inspiration one. Using my Cricut, I cut out the phrase Merry Christmas in a font that was pretty close to the original inspiration. And I'm just going to place it on the bottom. And I also did the same thing with the Christmas trees. I didn't have a animal print a vinyl, but I did have a golden tone one, and I think it's going to work out really well. So I'm just going to place them like little stickers.
everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for
I'm going to use a crocodile to make a hole, and that's where we can hang the ornament from. Now it's time to add a little bit of details. So the original had buffalo check and I think it's like a burlap ribbon kind of bow. Very simple, almost to the side of it. So I'm going to mimic it with these 2 ribbons, or actually just 1 ribbon and then jute string. Now I am first going to thread some jute string so that we have that in place. I'm just going to tie it and then tie it again on the top, and that'll be where we hang the ornament from. And then we're just going to hot glue the ribbon and the jute string right again to the top, but a little bit to the side to kind of mimic the original. Now, I'm not going to show you the final result until the end, or at least until the end of the 6 initial ornaments. So we're going to move on to the second one. So this is the one that we covered with the buffalo check scarf from Dollar Tree. I did, again, cut with my Cricut the Merry word on it. And then I'm just going to start hot gluing some little greeneries to kind of mimic the original. I'm going to take half of a ribbon. This is a burlap ribbon. I cut it in half to make it a little thinner. And I'm just going to tie it in the center with some jute string and then hot glue it to the greenery or on top of the greenery. And then I'm just going to keep adding some little things here and there. I'm going to take some of this buffalo check ribbon, and I think I got it at, it was in Dollar Tree, it was Dollar General. I'm just going to tie it in the center, again, keeping it very simple. Now, these little ornaments are going to be as close as possible to the original, but of course I'm not going to add everything the originals have because they are smaller, and then it would be a little bit too crowded. But I think they all came out really, really cute. For the third one, we are going to place the Merry Christmas down to the bottom center, and then we're going to add some greenery as well as ribbon and other little embellishments to keep it very close to the original. For the fourth one, I am going to take this beautiful nativity inspired wood round sign one, and I'm just going to place it right there in the center. I found a very beautiful design on Design Space, and I thought it looked very close to the original. I added some stars, and I think it made it look very cool. And it already had the Oh Holy Night, which was so cool. So now I'm going to add some greenery and some buffalo check ribbon and some other little details to just keep it very neat and close to the original, but again, not exactly. For the fourth inspiration one, you're going to see it there on the bottom. It's going to say Merry Christmas, and then the eye is replaced with a little tree. I did do that with this one as well. I cut out a little Christmas tree on green vinyl from Dollar Tree, and then I am going to use my crocodile once again. This time, instead of jute string, I'm going to use ribbon from Dollar General, and I'm just going to tie it in the knot and then move the knot to the back of the ornament so you don't see it. Adding some hot glue to add some greenery, and then some ribbon with a very simple bow, hot glue it in the center. And then I did add a little bell on this one just to make it a little bit more festive. But the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you. For the sixth wood round here, you're going to see it there on the bottom left corner. It says Merry Christmas right on the white stripe. So we're going to place our Merry Christmas right there as well. And then again, using the crocodile to make a hole and then thread some more of ribbon. This is the buffalo check ribbon. And again, I'm just going to tie it in the knot and then slide the knot to the back of the ornament. And then again, I'm just going to add some embellishments to get it very festive and as close as possible to the original. And then this is it for the 6 initial ornaments. These were all inspired again by Pinterest wood round signs that I loved, and I just thought they came out super cute, and I'm going to show you here what they all look like together. I love them. So festive, so beautiful to see them in a little mini version. I think they turn out super cute. For the next handmade ornament, it's going to be an oversized one. I love making these oversized ones because for larger trees, these are the ones you want to have on your tree. This is going to be using 2 of these wooden letters, the J and the Y, and I think you probably guess what's going to spell, right? It's going to say joy. But first, the letters we are going to paint red with this Farmhouse Red by Rust-Oleum chalk paint. And then while that dries, we're going to take this little mini wreath form from Amazon. I do have it on my Amazon store, as well as these evergreen pigs. I use them all the time. I'm going to take 3 of them, and I am going to just slide it in there and just keep them all facing the same way. I am now going to add some pine cones right underneath, or not underneath, at the end of each pick. And I'm going to add 3 of them as well. And then I'm going to add some of additional little pine cones. They're ones from Dollar Tree. They came like in a little vine. So we're just going to hot glue a little tiny one next to the big pine cone. And then I thought it needed a little bit of color, so I added some red berries to each one as well. So the way these oversized ornament is going to work is that they're going to be nestled in between all the branches of a Christmas tree. So you can literally just nestle them in between the branches as long as they are together and they can spell the word joy. I think it will look super cute. And this one I have on my Etsy shop as well. So check it out. It is linked down below. I did distress the J and the Y for a little bit more of a farmhouse look. But look how beautiful this looks. It's beautiful.
Very Merry Christmas without all tears. Every night, every day is a happy holiday. A very Merry Christmas to you.
For the next handmade ornament, I'm going to take this Dollar Tree little clear ornament. You've seen them before. They are just the ones that you can screw or unscrew the top and then you can fill them in with whatever you want. In this case, we're going to keep it very natural. I wanted to have an ornament that had a little bit more of a natural feel to it. So we're going to hot glue some moss right on the bottom of that cap. And then we're going to trim off just any excess that it may have. Then I'm going to take these Dollar Tree moss balls and I'm just going to hot glue 2 of them right next to each other. And then some of these little trees that I also got at Dollar Tree, we're going to take the bases off and we're just going to hot glue them in front of the moss balls. And now we're going to carefully put back the clear portion of it. So we're just going to kind of snug it in there and then screw it in. And you're going to probably screw it in over any moss, but it's okay. It worked out. Then we're going to add tons more of hot glue and add more moss all on the bottom of the cap. So we don't want to see any of the cap. Everything's going to be covered with moss. Once I had it covered, I just kind of packed it in and then just make sure that I remove any excess moss, but I wanted to make sure it was covered. Now we're going to add some more of these little evergreen pigs. These are smaller ones, and I do have them on my Amazon store as well. And then I added a little pine cone to the center just to keep it, again, very natural looking. I'm going to hide some of that silver because it doesn't go with the ornament. And we're just going to add some hot glue and jute twine all around it. I'm going to leave the top as is because it would be too hard to kind of cover that part. But I think in the end it turned out pretty cool. And then I'm going to add some more jute string to the top so that way we can hang it. I did add a little red berry to the front just to add a little bit of color, and that's it for this one. This has to be one of my most different handmade ornaments I've ever made, but it's actually one of my favorites. I think there's something so natural and so fresh about it. I just love it. For the next handmade ornament, I'm going to take 2 of those wood rounds. And at first, I was just going to slit half of it and then slit another half of it of another one to kind of join them together into a cylinder. I have no clue if that makes sense, but you're going to see what I'm trying to make here. I couldn't do that. I couldn't just make half a slit. So I had to just cut one in completely half. So have 2 halves available and then hot glue them on each side of the other wood round. And that's what I was trying to make. I was just making it very difficult. But then once the hot glue dried, I had this little cute cylinder and I'm going to add some red ribbon, just hot gluing it there, just leaving enough where I can hang it on the tree. I am then going to add some of these garland ties that you can get at Dollar Tree. And basically all I'm doing is cutting a piece that is long enough to cover each inside of the cylinder and then just trimming them with my wire cutters, and then I'm just going to hot glue them. I then took some smaller pieces of those garland ties and I'm just going to crisscross them in the top. I just feel like it was missing a little something in the top, and I will put a pine cone right in there. So I think that served like really cute as a little bed for the pine cone. And then I decided something else was missing. So I decided to add some of these glitter picks from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut them to all the same size and then hot glue them one in each side. And that is it for this one. Now, this is not my typical ornament kind of style, but I gotta say, I really like the way it looks on the tree. It's not on my tree. I did put it on a flock tree that I already have in my living room, so you can see what it looks like, but I think it looks stunning. All right, so I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes look at this Christmas skirt. So this is a Christmas tree skirt that I got last year, along with another one. But this one I already, you could tell, I have used and cut. I have used the red part, I have used the faux fur part, and I have used the sweater part. I just want to encourage you, if you see these, this one's from Dollar General. I want to say it was $10, but I got my money worth out of it because I still have a lot left, which I'm going to use for the next ornament. But I just wanted to show you how it's a hot mess, but piece by piece, I have used a lot of it and I just keep it around, and I'm sure I'm going to have leftover for next year. So I'm going to flip it to where the back side is going to be on top, and I'm going to trace this star right on it. Now you can use a star, you can use whatever you have. I'm just going to use because this is the one that I have. Now honestly, I wish I would have had one a little smaller, because in the end I think it was just a little too large, but if you have something that is smaller, you can trace whatever you want on it. So I'm going to cut both of these, and then I'm going to place them right on top of each other and hot glue the edges, because we're going to make like a little stuffed pillow, I guess, or like a little stuffed star, but it's going to be an oversized ornament. Now I kept it on the simple side, but you can really add whatever you want to this towards the end. You can add greenery, you can add picks to the top, whatever you want. Well, I'm going to show you what I did here. So I just hot glued 3 of the little legs, so the little parts of the legs. I just hot glue 3 of them, and then I'm going to start stuffing them little by little. I'm going to use this pillow from Walmart. I'm going to use the stuffing, and I'm just going to start by stuffing those sides. Actually, it was 2 of them first. And then I kept moving on to another one and another one until the end. Now at the end, it got a little bit more complicated because now everything's puffy. So you just have to be a little bit patient and careful when you are hot gluing. If you want to wear finger protectors, I have mine there ready for me. Use them. Be very careful. But in the end, I think it turned out super cute. I added a jute string to hang it from. And again, I wish I would have had maybe a smaller star, or maybe I could have just cut it a little smaller, but you live and learn. But in the end, I think it turned out super cute.
Come join in our song. The feeling is here today. Come on now, let's go. Caroling through the snow all day. We've been good, but we can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the Christmas tree for you and me. Oh, little bear toys.
For the next handmade ornament, I am going to take this wood slice. I got these from Artisa, but really you can get these on Amazon. I believe I have some on my Amazon store. You can get them anywhere. Michael's, any store, any crafting store will have these. I'm going to place a little rope. It's like a red little rope that I had there. And I'm going to place a little greenery and a little pine cone, and that's it. Just like I did before, I'm going to show you all these 5 of them together because they're going to be a set. And they're going to be a little more on the rustic side. But let me tell you, these are super easy. For this one, I just took a piece of drop cloth that I had already on hand. It was very, very frayed on the sides, which I love. Then I'm going to place 2 of these little sticks. These are literally sticks from outside. Super easy. And then I'm going to place some of these red berries from the Dollar Tree and hot glue it right in the center. That's it for this one. For the next handmade ornament, I'm going to take another wood slice, and then I am going to take some of this burlap red ribbon that I get at Dollar General. We're going to make a very simple bow, tie it in the back with some of that same ribbon, and then we're going to hot glue it right in the center, or on the top I should say. But first we're going to take some more of that ribbon, we're going to staple it on the back, that way it's nicely secure. And here we go, we're going to hot glue the bow right onto the center. For the next handmade ornament, I'm going to take another wood slice and I'm going to whiten the little hole there with my drill so that I can thread this thicker jute rope right through it, and then we're going to tie it, and that's where we'll hang it from. Then I'm going to take one of these little bells and I am going to cut off some of the jute string there, and I'm just going to tie it, and then we're going to make a very simple bow right on top. Then we're going to take some more of that jute string and we're going to hot glue it to the bell, and then maybe leave about an inch and a half or so. I want this little bell to just kind of hang on the wood slice. So we're going to hot glue it to the top, and that's it for this one. Now, are you seeing a trend here? Like, are you seeing a pattern? These are super easy. Anyone can truly make it. For the next handmade ornament, it's going to be another wood slice. I'm going to take one of these buffalo check black and white ribbon I had leftover from who knows what. It was laying around. I'm going to thread it right through. I had to use like a little tiny pick to get it through. And then again, we're just going to tie it, and then we're going to move the knot to the back of the ornament so that you do not see it. Then we're going to take this cute little reindeer ornament that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm sure you've seen them. I use these all the time. I removed everything that was on the reindeer. Then I'm going to take more of that little red rope that I had earlier. I'm going to make a multiple loop simple bow, and then hot glue it right to the neck of the reindeer. It'll also cover up the little hole, and I think it turned out super cute. But look how stunning these ornaments look together. They're all rustic. They're all just absolutely beautiful. I think on a rustic theme tree, this will be perfect. Now there's tons of inspiration here for you, but I'd love to hear which one is your favorite, or which one maybe is your style, or which one you would like to recreate. If you are visiting for the first time, thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope it inspires you to create your own handmade ornaments. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I am going to have a playlist here as well as a video. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.